Good morning, everybody. So today I'm going to talk about collaboration. So collaboration, what does that mean? There's lots of different ways that people can define collaboration. And I'm not going to stand up here today and talk to you about networking and partnership. Honestly, as Nigerians, you all know how to do that way better than I know how to do it. But to me, the most important type of collaboration is, and which I think is actually routinely overlooked, is internal teamwork and collaboration within your company. As a boss, how you build a collaborative culture and how you provide your team with collaboration tools is one of your most important jobs. So why do I know how important internal collaboration is? Well, because having poor internal collaboration almost destroyed my company a few years ago. So let me introduce myself properly. My name is Evelyn Castle, and I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of eHealth Africa. We work on improving healthcare through using data, and the big kind of area that we work on here in Nigeria is polio eradication. So the story about how poor internal communication and collaboration almost destroyed my company starts back in 2014 when Ebola just hit Lagos. So at that time, my company was based in Kano. We worked across the north, and we had about 400 employees. Because of our success in the polio campaigns, we were asked to go down to Lagos and support the Ebola outbreak. So we expanded from being located only in the north to now having a team in the south. Once Ebola was contained in Lagos, we were then asked to provide support in Sierra Leone, and then in Liberia, and then in Guinea. So we went from having one office in one country with 400 employees to having 6 offices in 4 countries with over 1,200 employees. You clap, but it was really hard. So all that growth happened in about 4 months. Yeah. But that rapid growth caused our internal collaboration to basically stop because we didn't have the tools or the systems in place that could manage that many people and in that many different countries. And when our internal collaboration stopped, we started to see some major issues come out. So the first big issue that we saw was that no systems or tools led to ineffective communication. With thousands of people running different projects in different countries, there was no way for them to communicate with each other. So we had people in the organization that had no idea what anybody else in the organization was working on. The second big issue that came about was that poor task management led to decreased accountability. So everyone was keeping their own to-do lists, and the only way for us to know what people were working on was for us to actually call them. So again, that's 1,200 people. There was no way for us to do that. So we couldn't hold people accountable for the tasks that they had been assigned to do. The last big issue that we had was that limited document management meant that we kept recreating the wheel. So very little of the work done during that time was documented properly. And even if it was, we didn't know where to find it or who had it, nothing. So that meant we kept recreating documents between countries when we could have actually just been building on what other people had already started. Because of these 3 major challenges, we had to work like crazy just to keep things from falling apart. So we were working 16-hour days, we were flying all over West Africa, and we were spending tons of money. Fortunately, this story has a happy ending. With a lot of hard work and honestly a little bit of luck, we were able to mitigate a lot of these risks. But I never wanted to go through something like this again. So we started working on building the processes and implementing the tools that would allow us to have strong internal collaboration systems so that we could grow again in the future without, almost killing ourselves. And those lessons that we learned during that time is what I want to share with you all today so that you can hopefully build those systems in your companies. So from my experience, there are 3 major collaboration tools that you need to establish in your organization. The first one is effective verbal communication channels. I don't care how busy you get, establish standard meetings and make sure everyone on your team attends. If possible, face-to-face meetings are always great, but our global team uses video conferencing like Google Chat, Hangouts, and BlueJeans to ensure that we speak regularly. Make sure that the meetings only contain necessary people and make sure that they have agendas so that you can be productive. Verbal communication and the connection that you have with your team is essential in order to make sure that projects are staying on task. So the second big tool is that you need to invest in a task management system. There are lots of task management tools on the market. They normally cost between 1,000 Naira to 4,000 Naira per user per month. So I know if you're a small company, that might seem like a whole lot of money to you, but I promise it is worth the investment. Task management tools allow you to set up tasks, assign leads, assign due dates, and communicate inside your team about the status of different tasks. This keeps your team accountable to staying on budget and meeting those deliverables. And of course, the better that you are at delivering your work, the more work you're going to get. So that's why I say that this is really an investment worth making. We use a task management system called Asana, and honestly, there is no way that I could run my company today without that tool. So the last big tool that I want to talk to you about is document management and sharing. So sending emails of documents between your company is honestly like a practice of the past. Collaborative editing and shared document management is 1,000,000 times more effective. You don't need to waste your time trying to figure out what is the most recent version of a document before you send it to a client. We use Google Suite as an organization, which allows us to collaboratively write documents, edit spreadsheets, and create visual presentations. The cost of something like that is also really reasonable. It's free to store up to a certain amount of documents. So if you're a small organization, the free version should be perfect for you. Our entire organization spends about 4,000 Naira per month to host 2 terabytes of storage. So again, super reasonable price. Using a document management system should reduce the time it takes for you to finalize documents for clients, meaning you should be making more money. So again, this is an investment that is worth it. So some of you might be thinking right now, you're a small company, you're not going to grow as fast as we did, so you don't need to worry about investing in these tools right now. Well, Africa is the fastest growing market, and I guarantee you, if you are running a successful company today, you are going to experience some rapid growth in the very near future. Looking out at this crowd today is super exciting. I'm sure that we have some future CEO, multi-billion Naira companies with us today. And I'm really hoping that some of you can take the tips that I spoke about and get your company ready so that when that growth hits, you can make the most of it. Thank you.